Now then, Family Ammo, welcome back to another video on Jazzy TV. Today we're going to talk about the upcomings in boxing and the hard times, because what I find, or what I found coming up, is like I got a great little mixture. We're in an easy route, actually. Well, it's not far from it, but I had a lot better than a lot of people, but from the amateur pedigree. So I would get like televised shows because I was a good fighter, and not because I was gifted or because I knew anybody. I actually, if anything, I got a little bit I got a lot less. If we could start again with the amateur records I had and the amateur career that I had, and I was a Great Britain fighter, ABA champion. I was only 18. If I was to look back now, and I would see it very different. Turn professional with my amateur pedigree and a Great Britain fighter, travel the world, boxing for England, Great Britain, winning the ABAs, 18 years old, turning professional. I would demand a lot more, because I was worth a lot more, but I didn't have a clue what I was worth. No one told me what I was worth, because I didn't know anyone who was turning pro at that time. Because remember, people weren't really turning pro like that. Amateur coaches couldn't train professional fighters. They couldn't mix. They'd never been in the same gyms. So it was the conversations was never there, and there weren't actually a lot of pro fighters from Liverpool. And then we had a boom. We had loads of great fighters like Tony Bellew, Callum Smith, Derry Matthews. Derry's already just turned pro, but he had a better second half of his career than he did. So yeah, for me, I would say that I had televised shows, and it was nice, but they all should have been televised shows, and they should have been and you can't even say like they should have been bigger shows, because we didn't, even at that time we had leisure centres, you know, and we had televised shows in leisure centres. It weren't the way it is now. I would say that things have taken off, and now it's stadiums and stuff like that now, isn't it? And because I remember going past the Echo Arena, the M&S Bank Arena in Liverpool, and saying to me mum, I'm going to fight in there one day. Years later, I fought in there loads of times, but went on to win the British title in there. But at that time when I said it, it wasn't like reachable. It weren't accessible at that time, and then we had the fighters to open it up. So yeah, even at that just shows the state that we were in within British boxing at that time. I would say it's at a all-time best right now with the Saudi investment. I think it's amazing. I love it. People say, you know, what about the atmosphere and all that? Fuck you and your atmosphere. It's about getting fighters paid and getting their families looked after, you know. Fuck your atmosphere. It's no atmosphere for a fighter. He doesn't think about Sweet Caroline when he's trading punches. So I love it. I think it's great for boxing. And I'm gonna do a video, Fury Usyk review, and the whole card. Wow, on Jazz TV's going up in the world. But yeah, so the fights that we were the televised fights, it was nice to get on them bills for me, not knowing I deserved that anyway. But then I will come back down and fight on the small old shows on the hard road, you know. So they was cold. I remember going to Cone one night, a place called Cone, and it was the coldest night ever. You could see fog when you would talk, and it was like football pitch Sunday morning cold, you know, and you get the ball whacked off your legs. And that's what we were fighting. I boxed a fella called Dougie Curran, and he was heavier than me. It was one of them last minute jobs where this is all we can get. He's a lot heavier than you, so it's just like be on your toes. One of them box nice, and it was a good learner. But yeah, so them shows, they can be great learning experience for fighters, but at the time fighters don't want to go through them. And you see a lot of fighters who are big names, and I've seen fighters who have been big names in boxing on turning professional, and they have to go and do what everyone else has to do. So they have to go and weigh in on the day, like a lot of fighters where they're weighing in 2 hours before the fight, and they don't like it. They really don't like it. They shit themselves. They can't deal with it. And they also turn up and there's no cameras there. But when it's a little bit different when there's cameras there and there's security there, someone's head to head and is putting it on you. It's a show. It's a lot of drama. But when there's no security there, and it's not even in the venue's not even paid for. It's like a gym somewhere, and there's someone putting it on someone at like a local amateur gym. They're doing it because this is what they really like. When they're putting it on them and they're aggressive and there's no security there and there's no television there, just a promoter, then people see a different side. They don't want to be in that type of world, you know. And you see it, how they go to bits in that situation, and they give it the big one when the camera's on, and they give it the big one on the social media and stuff like that. But these people aren't like fighters; they're boxers. If that makes sense. So a lot of fighters, you can be the best in the world, they haven't got the guts and the balls to go through the small hall shows. So when you see the fighters on the small hall shows, there's so much I can tell you, so many stories about small hall shows, what people would never, boxing fans would never look at the sport and think that goes on, because it's very dark. It is very, very dark, and it's that dark. You've got to laugh, because I know what I'm telling you, I'm just laughing in my head thinking about some of these experiences, because it's just madness, you know. It is a professional sport, but it's just ran like a I don't know, it's not ran really. And a lot of fighters who do experience the top level being treated well, and they get used to it, they get accustomed to it. But what my message to fighters here would be, never be afraid to cut back. I know you're accustomed to these situations, but don't be afraid to cut back and go back into them situations and build yourself back up again. I lost my IBO world title not long ago, and then I had to fight in the Olympia again. It weren't a big venue. I was low down the bill. It was just one of them. It was what it was. And did I want to be there? No, I wanted to be fighting on the telly, you know. It was on an app, but I went on a televised card. And then a few months after that, I'm headlining in Dubai. So it can be like that, you know, for the time being. You can't be scared to go back into that as fighters. When you see fighters and you go, he's just been fighting. So here's a mad story. I boxed the world title live on Box Nation against one of the pound for pound best fighters in the world at that time. No one would go near him. William Gondo, Cuban world champion. I think he was an Olympic champion. But he was an Olympic champion. And then the fight after Rigondeaux, I boxed in. No, I lost my British title, and so 2 fights back to back. The next fight was on BT Sports for the British title, and I lost that. So I got 2 losses back to back. The toughest point in my career, as you can imagine. two losses back to back. Your confidence in your boots, in it. So the next fight after that was in. It was in Ellesmere Port Leisure Centre, and I didn't sell no tickets because my babe was in the hospital with the baby, and I had 2 choices: mind me kids, or go out and sell tickets as well as train. One, train and mind your kids, or go and sell the tickets and train. Either way, you've got to train. That's a non-negotiable. No, you got to just train, haven't you? So it's like, these are the things that people don't see. When you see a fighter going from stardom on the telly, live on the telly, to then they're selling tickets again on a small old show, you go, what happened to him? But the truth is, there's no in between. There's no level. All right, now you're on level B or T or C, like football. People think boxing is like football, but it's not. You have to build your way back up, so you don't, it's a cliff edge. It's not like we go back down a level and then we get a chance to go back up next year. What happens is you're flying and then you go bang, and then you have to build yourself back up slowly. That is boxing. People think like it's like football, but it's not. There's a lot of analogies that I could use for boxing and football, what does it blows your mind when the outside people looking in, they think that football, the rules of football is like boxing. So even like you get a fighter who's, you would say, no, he's world class, but he's only not, he's a British level fighter, he's world class. Yeah, because he's got a world title, but it doesn't mean because he's European level that he can't beat him, if that makes sense. So it's not like Manchester United are playing a fourth league team away. It's not like that, because it's hard to even make that comparison really, because it's a 2-horse race, you know, and it's like you can get world champions who'll get upset because it's they'll get beaten because styles make fights. It's hard. So even like you look at Fury Usyk. Now, in my opinion, Joe Frazier will waste Usyk, but Usyk is beating everyone right now. So like, and then you get likes of I believe Tyson Fury would be George Foreman. I'm just talking about styles here, you know. It's like you can't put levels on fighters. That's just the way it is. But yeah, back to the topic there. I was talking about what was I talking about? Punch Dunk now, aren't I? After all that rambling going on and thinking about the social media, they really start to believe in this stuff about levels. And some of these fighters, good fighters, who've travelled the world and done great in an amateur career, they start to believe there's levels as well. That's a very, very dangerous thing. That dangerous thing for fighters. I've seen so many fighters as well, I won't name the names. They've held on to a certain type of belt, and when you've got that belt, they assume that now because they've got that belt, they're a level above this other person. But it's a fight. At the end of the day, it's a fight. And that's one of the things that I would like to see come back, because fighters don't get a chance sometimes. I'm struggling to get a fight right now. I'm not struggling. People will not like take a fight with me because of risk to reward. But boxing, like, if I give 20 years to boxing to be at a place where I am right now, the best I've been after all this time, with all these experiences, the best knowledge I've got, the strongest position that I'll ever be in, would you call it your peak years, but then to be denied the chance because you've had a loss. And now that's also the other side of boxing that people don't see, is that it can be it doesn't make no sense, you know what I mean? It's like a football team, another analogy, working their way up. They've had shit for years, they've been in the lower divisions, now they've got the money to buy. They have lost loads and loads of games, or what have you. Not that I've lost loads and loads of games, but they've built themselves up. Now they've got a few players, now they've finally got themselves to what they would call the best team. Now they've got themselves to where they should be playing in the Prem, and someone says, nah, you've lost loads of games. It just doesn't make no sense, you know. So real fights and real fighters, I would like to see it coming back, especially for myself personally, of course. But and I will do. I've been in this position many times before, and I always find a way back because I'm too dedicated not to find a way back. But what I'm saying is, a lot of fighters will just take that as the truth in boxing and go, you know what, yeah, they're right. People are telling me this and that, and like, now it's levels. It's the way shout in boxing, levels, and fighters don't say levels because they know it doesn't exist. It's the fans that say levels, you know what I mean? So if you are a fan, I don't know if you know anything about boxing, because you'll start shouting levels. Levels, bro. So yeah, stay away from them level shouts, because it really doesn't exist, and it doesn't make a fighter. It might make them better, but better fighters don't always win with fighters who are a lower level, by the way. So it's mad. There's so many things that you can go into, and like boxing it's why it's the best in the world, and it's the best sport in the world. When it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it's bad. But it's just no ups and downs in boxing. It's just all about levels, bro. But yeah, that's one thing that people don't see behind the curtain. All these fighters who come up to the hard shows and the cold freezing January shows, and they don't get paid for it, and then all of a sudden they turn up on the television, and then people say, who's this kid, never seen him before, he's good, isn't he? As he just started his career now, he's been working for 3 or 4 years on the small old shows. So yeah, have a little look into the background. There's some good channels on YouTube as well, you know. There's Boxing Now. Boxing Now could be a great platform, but they give a lot of the time to they are a great platform, but they give a lot of their time to the smaller hall fighters and stuff like that. I know we're with the media now, everyone's reaching for the big boys, aren't they, to get the views, but Boxing Now, which was formerly BBTV, got a lot of time for Chris and Aki, because I see what they do, you know, and they don't just try and chase the big boys. And there's VIP TV, VIP Promotions, boxing channel, they do the same thing, you know. They obviously look after their own fighters, don't get other people's fighters on there, but if you want to look behind the curtain and see what it's like at the lower levels, just look at that one. You'll see the up and comers, you'll see them at an earlier stage, and people like to get behind fighters, don't they? But you see them at an earlier stage in the career, and it's good to latch onto a fighter early on and say, I've supported him throughout the whole journey. What are the challenges would they be? It's a hard one, isn't it? Because a lot of these media people, they're not interested in the little fellas anymore. I've seen just recently IFL was going to do with an amateur program, an amateur YouTube channel, follow the amateur gyms and stuff like that, or the amateur fights, which will be brilliant actually, to give that platform to the youngsters coming up, and it gives it mediates between the fans and the youngsters coming up too, and you can follow them from earlier on in the career. So yeah, it's fantastic, and it can boost their profiles of the youngsters, and give them a better head start when they do turn pro. So yeah, that was my ramble there on the small old shows. Maybe I'll make a little video on, leave it in the comments what you would like to see me talk about on the small old shows, because there's many stories, and I've seen some great nights and great fights. Some of the best fights that you see are on the small hall shows. So yeah, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe and leave a comment. You have a lovely day, family.